Seeing reality as it is, yatha bhuta jnana, was not seeing it. Now, having read and understood the points discussed so far, it is appropriate for us to examine the topic, does an Arhant re-emerge after death? How does the statement by Bhikkhu Yamaka, a monk whose defilements are destroyed and Arhant ceases to exist, is annihilated and is not reborn after death, become a wrong view? To understand the Yathabhuta Jnana relevant to this statement, the previously discussed points are foundational. Just as one must understand theory before practical training, or study an enemy's weapons and tactics before battle to survive and win, these Dhamma points are crucial. The path to Nibbana is a war against defilements. The same as using the right weapons at the right time ensures victory without wounds or death at war, this battle against defilements must be won completely using wisdom, morality, and concentration. It requires even greater skill than surviving in a battle to end samsara and achieve nibbana. Let us now focus on the dialogue between Arhant Sariputta and monk Yamaka, which happened in Buddha's time. Upon hearing that the monk Yamaka held this wrong view, Venerable Sariputta approached him and engaged in the following discussion. Sariputta: Friend Yamaka, is it true that you hold this harmful view? An arhant with no asavas, one whose long-standing defilements are destroyed, ceases to exist, is annihilated, and is not reborn after death. This is the Dhamma I, Yamaka, know as taught by the Buddha? Yamaka: Yes, Venerable Sariputta, but how can that view be harmful? Sariputta: What do you think, friend Yamaka? Is form, rupa, permanent or impermanent? Here, rupa means visible forms, sounds, smells, tastes, bodily touches, and mental objects. Yamaka: Impermanent, Venerable Sariputta. The right understanding of impermanence, anicca, is very vital towards our journey to understand the Yathabhuta Jnana. Coarse level, observable decay such as aging, the changes in our physical appearance over time, or how the sharp eyes we once had in childhood may now require spectacles just to see. Subtle level, each sense arises and ceases instantly. No two senses arise simultaneously. Eye consciousness arises and ceases before ear consciousness. Ultra subtle level, when a sense faculty indriya arises, its corresponding sense object rupa simultaneously arises and ceases at the same moment. Buddha explained, when this exists, that comes to be. With the arising of this, that arises. When this does not exist, that does not come to be. With the cessation of this, that ceases. Imasmim sati idam hoti, imasa upada idam uppajjati, imasmim asati idam nahoti, imasa nirodha idam nirujhati. The sense faculty indriya, or its object rupa, does not exist before, arises and leaves no trace after cessation. Ahutva sambhuta, hutvana bhavisantiti. Furthermore, whatever is of a nature to arise through conditions is also of a nature to cease when those conditions are absent. Everything vanishes without remainder at the moment of dissolution. Yamkinchi samudaya dhammaṃ sabbam tam nirodha dhammaṃ. At the beginning you heard a word asavas. That's mean taints. There are 4 asavas. Kamasava, taint of sensual desire. Bhavasava, taint of existence. Dithasava, taint of views. And avijasava, taint of ignorance. Just like grapes left too long in a pot begin to ferment, these mental taints, asavas, have soaked into beings over countless lifetimes. Only the clear understanding found on the path to arhantship can wash them away with the purifying water of wisdom. Furthermore, the eyes, ears, nose, and other sense faculties we presently possess are the results of past ignorance, avijja, craving, tanha, and kamma, actions from previous lives. One must also have this understanding. These points should be contemplated during vipassana meditation. This, then, is the true nature of reality, Yathabhuta Dhamma, the ultimate truth. All conditioned phenomena, Sankhata Dhamma, that arise due to causes are by nature impermanent, ceasing without remainder. When asked whether form, rupa, is permanent or impermanent, the monk Yamaka replied, It is impermanent, anicca, sir. Vipassana practitioners too must comprehend impermanence in the manner described above. Then, when Venerable Sariputta asked Yamaka whether form is permanent or impermanent, Yamaka replied, It is impermanent. Next, Venerable Sariputta asked, That which is impermanent, is it suffering, dukkha, or happiness, sukha? Yamaka: Venerable Sariputta, it is suffering. Sariputta: That which is impermanent, suffering, and subject to change, is it proper to regard it thus? This is mine, this I am, this is myself, atta. Yamaka, no venerable, it is not proper. It is non-self anatta. Again, Venerable Sariputta asked Sariputta, Yamaka, is feeling Vedana permanent or impermanent? Here, Vedana refers to pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral feelings arising from contact between sense objects and faculties. Yamaka, sir, it is impermanent. Sariputta, that which is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Yamaka, venerable, it is suffering. Sariputta, that which is impermanent, suffering, and subject to change, is it proper to regard it thus? This is mine, this I am, this is myself? Yamaka, no, Venerable Sariputta, it is not proper. Sariputta then continued similarly regarding perception, sanya, mental formations, sankhara, and consciousness, vijnana. Sariputta, Yamaka, are sanya, sankhara, and vijnana permanent or impermanent? Yamaka, they are impermanent. Sariputta, that which is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Yamaka, sir, it is suffering. Sariputta, that which is impermanent, suffering, and subject to change, is it proper to regard it thus? This is mine, this I am, this is myself. Yamaka, no, it is not. Before continue with the rest of the dialogue, let's explore the mistaken concept of a being or person, Sakkaya Ditthi, arises when one grasps at the 5 clinging aggregates Panchupadanakandha, form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. This wrong view emerges solely due to the presence of ignorance, avijja. When ignorance operates, these aggregates are inevitably perceived through craving as permanent, pleasurable, and self. This is the fundamental delusion that binds beings to suffering. The Sakkaya Ditthi Sutta nicely explains this view through 20 permutations. Regarding material form, the error manifests in 4 ways. First, by considering form as self, then believing self possesses form, next imagining form exists within self, and finally thinking self exists within form. This same fourfold pattern repeats for feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness, making 20 types of personality view in total. There exists a clear distinction between 3 types of individuals in relation to this view. A person who does not know the above reality, unacquainted with the noble Dhamma, untrained in its principles, and unable to comprehend its truths, clings tenaciously to these mistaken identifications. In contrast, the noble disciple who has heard the Dhamma, becomes skilled in its comprehension, and become well trained in its practice, succeeds in uprooting this view through direct understanding. The wise person comes to see how this deep-seated ignorance has perpetuated endless wandering in samsara. He recognizes the urgent need to abandon this fundamental error. This personality view, which constitutes the first breakthrough on the path, being one of the 3 fetters destroyed at stream entry. Without fully comprehending the nature of this view, no genuine progress can be made toward Nibbana. Prior to the Buddha's awakening, even advanced meditators remained trapped in subtle forms of this view, believing their attainments proved the existence of an eternal self that would enjoy heavenly existences. The Blessed One revealed the conditioned nature of becoming through dependent origination, showing how existence arises from ignorance, craving, and clinging, and how these can be completely eradicated through the Noble Eightfold Path with its foundation in the 4 establishments of mindfulness. This teaching represents the Buddha's revolutionary insight that what we take to be a person is merely a dynamic process of causally conditioned phenomena empty of any substantial self. The path to freedom lies not in attaining some purified selfhood, but in completely uprooting the very tendency to appropriate experience as I or mine through the development of wisdom and direct insight into the 3 characteristics of existence. Dear friends, from this point onward, I earnestly urge you to diligently listen and strive to comprehend the following teachings with utmost care. I sincerely believe that all who attentively listen to this can understand this Dhamma. However, let me offer this advice. Do not become entangled in mere words. When encountering these Dhamma points, your minds might react according to your current views, thinking, how can this be? If that is so, then this should be thus, don't they? When such thoughts and doubts arise, set them aside. Instead, maintain this resolve. The Buddha cannot be wrong, there can be no error in the Dhamma. If I don't understand, the fault lies with me. And advise yourself, my wisdom has not yet developed sufficiently. With purified virtue, I shall strive to comprehend this Dhamma. For example, it was stated earlier that feelings are impermanent. One might think, when painful feelings become impermanent, doesn't that mean the pain ceases? This resembles the thought, if a headache exists and then disappears, we say the headache was impermanent, so how can it be suffering? Dear friends, if you never experience headaches again, there's no issue in thinking this way. But if existing pain becomes impermanent, while the resulting pleasure becomes permanent, then there would have been no need for Buddhas to appear in this world. The truth the Buddha reveals is that even when a headache ceases, the resulting pleasant feeling, that very Vedana, also doesn't last permanently. This is why when all feelings are impermanent, the Buddha declares they are sufferings. In the same way, when the monk Yamaka acknowledged that all aggregates, form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness are impermanent, suffering, and non-self, Venerable Sariputta gave him this instruction. Sariputta, then, friend Yamaka, regarding any form whatsoever, past, future or present, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, all form should be seen with proper wisdom as it really is. This is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Similarly, for all feelings, all perceptions, all mental formations, all consciousness, whether past, future or present, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, all should be seen with proper wisdom as it really is. This is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Furthermore, friend Yamaka, when a learned noble disciple thus sees, he becomes disenchanted with form, disenchanted with feeling, disenchanted with perception, disenchanted with mental formations, and disenchanted with consciousness. Being disenchanted, he becomes dispassionate. Through dispassion, he is liberated. When liberated, there arises the knowledge, liberated. He understands birth is destroyed, the holy life has been lived, what had to be done has been done, there is no more coming to any state of being. After explaining as above, Sariputta, friend Yamaka, what do you think does one thus liberated see a being in form? Yamaka, no sir. Sariputta, does he see a being as form? Yamaka, no, venerable sir. Similarly, for feeling, perception, mental formations and consciousness separately, Yamaka said no. Sariputta, does he see a being in feeling, in perception, in formations, in consciousness? Yamaka, no, venerable sir. Sariputta, does he see a being apart from form? Yamaka, no, venerable sir. Sariputta, similarly, does he see a being apart from feeling, apart from perception, apart from formations, apart from consciousness? Yamaka, no, venerable sir. Sariputta, friend Yamaka, does he see a being as the five aggregates together? Yamaka, no, venerable sir. Then venerable Sariputta asked further, Sariputta, friend Yamaka, what then do you think? Do you perceive a being where there is no form, no feeling, no perception, no mental formations, and no consciousness in the absence of the five aggregates? Yamaka, no, venerable sir. Finally, venerable Sariputta concluded, friend Yamaka, since in this very life you cannot find any being truly, firmly, and reliably, is it proper for you to declare, as I understand the Dhamma taught by the Buddha, one whose taints are destroyed and Arhant ceases to exist, is annihilated and is not reborn after the breakup of the body? Yamaka, no, venerable sir. Arhato